Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Learn with PR. In the previous video, we understood the concept of dequeue. Now in this video, we will learn how to implement dequeue using array in C++ step by step. So what is dequeue? Dequeue allows insertion and deletion from both ends, that is front and rear. So to implement this using an array, we use two variables, front and rear, who will point the front value and the other will point to the last value. Okay, so we initialize an array of fixed size where front and rear will get the value of -1, right? And by -1 it will say dequeue is empty, means there is no element. Okay, we have already covered this topic in my previous video. I will share a link, please check that first. Okay, then only you can understand the conditions and why we are making insertion at rear, insertion at front, and deletion from front and deletion from rear. All right, so let's start a program first. So here I'm writing a function, a class first, creating class name as dequeue. Then we are creating here private data members. Okay, here I'm writing int array, I'm writing ARR. All right, here we have to give size, but for we can't give a number of elements here, so we can define here size first. Define size as 5. Okay, so now you can write inside size only, so size will get the value of 5. All right, and now I am creating here front and rear. Okay, now in a public section, creating constructor. Okay, in this constructor we will say front and rear will both get -1 value. Okay, now here I am writing rear will get the -1 value. Done. So from this dequeue constructor, it will initialize two values as values to the two functions, two variables name, that is front and rear, that is -1. All right, now let's create a function, okay, where we can say inserting from insertion at front. Okay, so I'm creating here void. We are performing insertion, so I'm writing insert at, okay, so I'm doing insertion underscore front. Okay, done. So when we want to do so, we have to assign some variable. Okay, हमें value देनी पड़ेगी, right? So this will I'm passing here, this x I'm passing here. All right, now if condition we have to check if front is equal to 0, suppose. All right, that means what? Just write down cout overflow, means we can't upload any new element as front 0 है, तब हम कोई element store नहीं कर सकते. It will go in the minus index value, -1 में चला जाएगा. Okay, that we have covered already in my previous video. Okay, so it will say overflow from front. All right, so just write down here overflow from front. Done and done. All right, now once it's done, then we have to return back to the function. Main function में हमें चले जाना है. ठीक है, this is only one condition. Now if else, you can say else if में you can write one more condition. If the front is equal to -1, if it is -1, that means what? We can insert element, है ना, हम insert कर सकते हैं element को front में, means 0 index में, right? So front is equal and you can say front equal and rear will both get the value of 0 as it will increase, है ना, एक increase कर देगा. That's what we are doing here. All right, this is doing, we are doing this one. If this is true, that means this will not work, है ना. If this is false, it will check this one. If this will get it, अगर ये मिल जाएगा मेरे को, right? तो इसका मतलब क्या है, मुझे अपनी वैल्यू इंसर्ट कर देनी है। कौन सी वैल्यू इंसर्ट कर देनी है? वी कैन इंसर्ट अ वैल्यू एज ARR फ्रंट में ही हम एक वैल्यू डाल देंगे। ठीक है, कौन सी वैल्यू? जो मैंने x दे रखी है। ओके, ये वाली वैल्यू चली जाएगी। बट मुझे एक और वैल्यू चेक करनी है। अगर ये भी ट्रू नहीं है और ये भी ट्रू नहीं है, इसका मतलब फ्रंट मेरा 0 भी नहीं है, -1 भी नहीं है। तो फ्रंट मीन्स 2 हो सकता है, 3 हो सकता है, 4 हो सकता है, सो ऑन ना, बहुत सारे हो सकते हैं, कुछ भी हो सकता है मतलब, बट नॉट 0 एंड -1। दैट मीन्स वी हैव टू से another situation. So else में I'm writing here. So just do front -1. Okay, we have to do front -1. All right, it will assign value in front as well. Okay, once this situation is wrong, this situation is wrong, that this will definitely work. front को एक माइनस कर दो और ARR front में वैल्यू डाल दो x की. Now let's understand this scenario first. So in a queue, suppose this is a queue, dequeue. Okay, let's understand first this situation. Okay, means आपका front 0 है, this is your front. तो अगर आपका फ्रंट 0, डैट मीन्स यहाँ पे कोई वैल्यू हो सकती है ना, यहाँ पे वैल्यू होगी कोई ना कोई, कोई भी आप कुछ भी डाल सकते हो, 10 डाल दी मैंने। सो फ्रंट आपका 0 है। सो इसका मतलब ये क्या कहेगा, ओवरफ्लो फ्रॉम फ्रंट मीन्स हम हमें जब भी इंसर्ट करना होता है, सो फ्रंट को हमें हमेशा माइनस ही करना है। ठीक है, जो भी फ्रंट की वैल्यू है, वेन एवर यू आर इंसर्टिंग फ्रॉम फ्रंट, फ्रंट विल गो -1। ओके, बट इन दिस सिचुएशन इज व्हाट, ओवरफ्लो फ्रॉम फ्रंट। यहाँ पे और कोई स्पेस नहीं, इज देयर एनी स्पेस हेयर? इसके बाद कोई स्पेस है? कोई स्पेस नहीं है। ठीक है, दैट्स वाई वी कांट डू एनी इंसर्शन, इट विल से ओवरफ्लो फ्रॉम फ्रंट, इट विल रिटर्न बैक टू द मेन फंक्शन। ऑलराइट, डन, this situation is over. But if the situation is something else, okay, suppose, all right, so suppose I am saying here 20. Okay, here is 20. Okay, let's understand this situation first. हम इस सिचुएशन को पहले समझते हैं। ठीक है, तो हमने कहा यहाँ पे कि हमारे पास क्या है, अगर फ्रंट -1 है, राइट नाउ देर इज नो एलिमेंट, दैट्स वाई फ्रंट बिकम -1, -1 हो रखा है फ्रंट, राइट। यू विल से इफ दिस सिचुएशन इज ओके ट्रू, देन सेट फ्रंट एंड रेयर बोथ एज 0। सो दिस इज अ 0 इंडेक्स, सो फ्रंट भी यही है और रेयर भी हमारा यही है। ठीक है, that means now this situation is wrong, this situation was true, right? So it will set front and rear both 0, so front will point to the 0 index value, all right, and then it will skip this portion now. If this true, then it will skip this one, and then after this we have this line. So now just do ARR front. What is ARR front? So ARR front is what? 0. Front is 0 now, right? Assign the value of x. Suppose you are passing x as 30. Okay, so now in this we will write here 30. Okay, so now you inserted from front, आपने front से insert कर दिया। All right, done. Now let's understand one more scenario. If, okay, let me erase it. Now if I am saying I am having this, and this, okay, 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, 3 and 4 index. I am having 10 here, 20 here, 30 here, this is rear, okay, and this is front. ओके, सो बिकॉज फ्रंट यहाँ पे 0 इंडेक्स में कोई वैल्यू नहीं है, इसका मतलब क्या है, यहाँ से हमने डिलीट कर दिया ऑलरेडी। इफ द सिनेरियो इज दिस, okay, there is 3 scenario only, we have done written here already the scenarios, हमने लिख लिया है ऑलरेडी यहाँ पे, अब हम चेक कर रहे हैं। सो फ्रंट 1 है, फ्रंट ना ही 0 है, तो दिस सिचुएशन इज फॉल्स। ओके, ना फ्रंट -1 है, दिस सिचुएशन इज ऑल्सो फॉल्स, सो दैट मीन्स दिस सिचुएशन विल वर्क। ओके, ये सिचुएशन काम करेगी। सो हमें ये फॉल्स है, ये फॉल्स, इसका मतलब यही ट्रू है, तो हमें क्या करना है, फ्रंट -1। व्हाट इज फ्रंट? फ्रंट इज 1। ओके, सो जब फ्रंट हमारा 1 है, हम -1 करेंगे तो 0 हो गया, तो डैट मीन्स फ्रंट इज पॉइंटिंग नाउ दिस लोकेशन, फ्रंट 0 हो गया ना। आफ्टर दैट, आफ्टर दिस सिचुएशन वी हैव टू डू व्हाट, दिस लाइन। व्हाट इज दिस? ARR front. What is ARR front? ARR 0. Assign value of x. What is x? Suppose I am writing x as here 50. Okay, so 50 will go here and it will say ARR 0 में आप 50 डाल दो, so 50 will here now. So have you inserted from front? Yes, हमने अभी फ्रंट में इंसर्ट कर दी वैल्यू। ओके, सो दिस इज हाउ वी कैन डू इट। ओके, दिस सिनेरियो विल वर्क, है ना। हम ये चीज़ हमने आपको पहले वाले वीडियो में भी बता दी थी। ठीक है, आप इसको एक बार फिर से पढ़ लो। ओके, डन। सो दिस इज व्हाट, दिस इज हाउ यू कैन डू इंसर्शन फ्रॉम फ्रंट। ऑल राइट, so this is a function, a simple function we are creating. So these scenario will only in the insertion of front, when you want to do insertion, है ना, अगर इंसर्शन करना है एट फ्रंट से, दैट टाइम वी हैव टू प्रोवाइड दीज थ्री सिचुएशन ओनली। ठीक है, अगर फ्रंट हमारा 0 है, दैट मीन्स वी कांट स्टोर एनी वैल्यू, हम नहीं फिल कर सकते न्यू वैल्यू, वो वहीं पे स्टॉप हो जाएगा। राइट, इफ द फ्रंट इज नॉट -1, sorry, if the front is not 0, that means front is -1, suppose. Okay, so if it is, then we have to set front and rear is 0. All right, but if the both scenarios not working, that means front is not 0 and not -1. That means front you have to decrease by 1 and assign value in that front value which recently you got. Okay, this is how we can write it. Done. Now this is for insertion at front. Now let's talk about how we can do insertion at rear. So insertion at rear we have already done in a queue as well. Same scenario we have to follow, but there is a little change. Okay, now let's understand what will be the change of that. Okay, we are writing a function inside our class only. This is class, still here I'm writing int main. Okay, यहाँ पे मैं int main लिख देती हूँ। ठीक है, so now inside this class only we are creating a simple function name I'm writing here, insert at rear. ओके, इंसर्ट एट रेयर में अगेन वी हैव टू असाइन अ वैल्यू, है ना, हमें यहाँ पे एक वैल्यू असाइन करनी है। सपोज आई एम असाइनिंग y, the same thing, you can also write the same int x as well, है ना। All right, now we have to check the condition. If rear is full, then we can't store, means overflow from front, you can say. Okay, so if rear got the max index, you can say, means size -1, you can say. Okay, n-1. Done. If it is true, that means just write down overflow from rear. Done. And then we have to return back to the main function. All right, so if this scenario is okay, okay, equal to, all right, if the scenario is true, that means it will say overflow, you can't upload a new element, हम element को upload नहीं कर सकते कोई भी, तो it will return back to the main function and the operation whatever we are performing, that will work. All right, now we have to check one more thing. What we have to set? If the front is -1, अगर front ही -1 है, that means there is no element, हमारे पास कोई element नहीं है, so we have to set front and rear both as 0. Okay, so I am from here I'm copying it. This is scenario for the rear as well, हम यही scenario rear के लिए भी रखेंगे। ठीक है, this is else if part. Else if may we have to say the front is equal to -1. If it is true, that means we have to set front and rear both 0. Okay, if you have any kind of query, please write in a comment. I will surely answer your query. All right, now in a else part, if this scenario is not true, then else part will work. We have to simply say rear will increase by 1 plus 1. Okay, done. If we have done insertion rear end, we have increases already, then assign the value. So I'm writing ARR in rear index, we have to do it. That is only the change. Okay, this is only the change. As we are doing here rear, will get the value of rear plus 1, and we are doing here rear ARR, rear will get the value of y. But here we are doing front will go minus 1, right? Front will say front minus 1, and then we are assigning the particular value, x key value we are assigning in a index of front only, but here index of rear. All right, this is only the change. Now let's understand this scenario, how it will work. Suppose we have this, all right, these elements we have. So I am writing here 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, so rear front is pointing this location, rear is pointing this location. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 elements we can fill, suppose. Okay, so now it's saying rear is equal to max size minus 1, max size. What is the size here? 4, 4 minus 1, 3. So yes, rear is 3. So if rear is 3, that means you can't store a new element. That's the overflow condition. So overflow from rear, rear से overflow हो गया. So we have to return back to the main function. Done. This scenario is okay. Done. ठीक है? Is there any query? Write down. All right. So now let's talk about this scenario. Suppose we have Q this. All right. And we are saying here front and rear both are minus 1. Right. So just check, front is minus 1. That means there is no element. So we have to set front and rear both 0. So rear is also now become this, front is also this. All right. So front means 0 index में चला गया. Now else part will not, this part will not work, right? If this part will not work, that means what? It will now skip this and will say rear of, what is ARR? ARR rear. So ARR rear means ARR 0. So ARR 0 may provide the value of x, suppose 10. So 10 will store. So this is how we can do insertion at rear. Done. Okay. Suppose you have elements this. ठीक है, ये element है आपके पास. All right, now rear is not pointing this location, rear pointing to this location. This is 0 index, 1 index and 2 index. So rear is 2. All right, now rear is equal to max size minus 1. No, false. Front is equals to minus 1. No, front is pointing to 0 value. ठीक है, this is not front, front is 0. All right, so now if this condition, these two conditions are false, then we have to go in a else part. We have to say rear now will get the value of rear plus 1. What is rear plus 1? 3. So now rear is pointing this location. Provide the value of y in a ARR rear. What is ARR? 3. ARR rear, that means ARR 3 index value will get the value of 40. Suppose you are writing 40. So this is how you can insert at rear. All right, so this is a scenario for the rear. Done. All right, so this is how we can insert at front, insert at rear. Now let's talk about if I want to delete, है ना, हमें delete करना है, delete from front, delete from rear, how we can do so. So I am writing a one more function. All right, so here we will say void delete from front first. Okay, from front first. All right, so we don't need to give any parameter, as we will insert the front element only, where the front will point, है ना, front जहाँ पे point करेगा. All right, now what condition we have to check? We have to check if front is minus 1. If front is minus 1, that means what? Underflow. You can't delete any element. That queue is empty actually, so you can't delete anything. So I'm writing here if front is equal to minus 1, If it is -1, so underflow condition, write down underflow. Okay, so we can't do it. Return to the main function. Done. But if not, okay, so what we have to do? If there is one more scenario. If I'll say, um, if I'll say front and rear both pointing same location, that means there is only one element, है ना? So we have to set front and rear both -1. No? Alright, so what we can do here, else if front and rear same values, they are saying pointing to the same index value, that means there is only one element, so we have to set front and rear both as -1. Alright, before this you can write one more line, C out. You can simply say ARR front. So whatever the front value is, it will say deleted, है ना? So I am writing a simple line. So ARR front deleted, you can say. Deleted from queue, from dequeue. Handle. Done. And then it will check front. It will check this situation. So here you can skip this else. You can say this is a different situation and this line will print otherwise it will not print. And then if part is this. Okay, if this is not true, suppose if this is not true, that means else part will true. So else simply do wait. So just give this if front is equals to rear, so front set as front -1, front and rear both -1. This is over. All right, now else part. So in else part just do what, front equal to front +1. जब भी हम डिलीट करते हैं तो front को प्लस ही करेंगे, right? So done. So this is how we can do it, right? So now let's understand it first. Suppose you are saying this is your queue, all right, and there is no element. So front is pointing -1. So this situation is true. That means underflow condition, right? So you will say there is no element, so we can't delete anything. Done. Now, but if you have this element only, 10, all right? So it will not say, so it will say front is pointing 0 location, R is also pointing 0 location. Front and rear both pointing 0 index. This is, you can say, okay, pointing to these two variables will point to the single index value. All right, now the situation is false. It will print this one, front. ARR front means what? ARR 0, that means 10. 10 deleted from queue, it will write a simple line for you. All right, and now it will check front is equal to rear. So what front? Front is 0, rear is 0. So both are 0. That means this situation is true. So when this situation is true, that means front and rear now become -1. So they both will get the value of -1. Alright. Now delete it from the, delete it. Oh. So now delete it from the queue. Alright. This is done. So this is your -1 now. Alright. So this situation is true. Now let's talk about the another situation. Alright, so what about this situation? Suppose we have these elements 20, 30 and 40. Alright. So suppose this is your front, this is rear. Front is 0 index, 1 index, 2 index and 3 index. Alright. So front is -1 and rear is front is 1 and rear is 3. Alright, so front is equal to -1, that is false. This is also false, so but it will say ARR front means 20 deleted from queue. It is writing first, है ना, हमें तभी value मिलेगी. Alright, now else if part is false, so else part will go, so front now increase. So front जब increase हो जाएगा, so front now become this value, है ना. Front is now 2 index value, so it will say deleted this 20 value from the index. So this is how your deletion from front works. All right, so now let's talk about the last one. This is very important. All right, so this is the else part. Done. This is the function. Okay, so now I'm writing one more function here. So I'm writing void. Okay, the function says we are deleting from rear. So void delete rear. Delete कर रहे हैं हम rear से. Again we don't need to pass any kind of thing. Now if अब now we have to check ना, rear अगर -1 है, ठीक है, if the rear is -1, that means there is no such values. So C out will say underflow. All right, so underflow means there is no element. So how we can delete? Done. Return लगा दो. All right, this is done. Now we have to delete. So first we will print a line, same line I'm copying it, but we have to say here rear, we have to say not front, we have to say rear. Okay, so just simply write here we will say rear. Done. All right, so again the same scenario we will find out कि if I'm copying it first, pasting here. All right, so delete from rear से मैं क्या कर रही हूँ, rear is equal to -1, so underflow condition चली जाएगी. अगर ये condition false है, that means उसमें element है, but the element says whatever ARR rear is deleted from the dequeue. All right, now we will check front is equal to rear. If there is only one element, so both will point the same scenario, that is now you have to say front and rear again -1. Okay, now else part में I need to remove this. Else part में we will say rear will decrease -1. Okay, see, this is how we can do. Let me beautify it. Okay, done. So this is a function. Let's talk about this scenario first. Okay, now suppose we have queue. Okay, this is a queue, 0 index, 1 index, 2 and 3. Suppose there is no value, so front and rear both are getting -1 value, so this scenario is true, so it will say underflow and will return back. Okay, but if there is only one element, here is the element, suppose, so this is only the front, okay, and this is only the rear, so that means what, both pointing same location, both are having one value. All right, so that means this situation is true, this is false. This situation is true, front and rear both are equal. Okay, so now check front and rear become -1. So here I have written -1. Okay, so front and rear, that means अगर front और rear -1 हो गया, right, so that means this is already gone from the memory, है ना. अब आपका सिनेरियो क्या बना, अब आपका सिनेरियो बना जो आपका फ्रंट है और rear है, both are -1. all right, so now you deleted. But if these elements are in the dequeue, है ना, so 10 20 30, so your front is 0 and front is 0 and rear is this, so you want to delete from the rear. So rear में कौन सी वैल्यू है, 30 वैल्यू है ना, तो इसको मुझे डिलीट करने का है. सो ना ही ये सिचुएशन ट्रू है, रेयर इज नॉट -1, रेयर इज 2. okay, it will say ARR rear, that means 30 deleted from the dequeue It will write and will say front or equal, front is equal to rear. No, this is also wrong. So else part will work. So it will say rear will now decrease one by 1. Okay, so when it will decrease by 1, so now 2 minus 1, it will say 1. So rear is pointing this location. So from the memory allocation, 30 will delete it, no longer in the dequeue. Okay, so this is a last scenario for this program. All right, now let's talk about how we can display the elements in dequeue. dequeue के elements को हम display कैसे कराएंगे? So we have to write a for loop, nothing else. Just write down. So let me clean. All right, so I am creating display function here only. So I'm writing display. Okay, so first check. Front is -1, that means dequeue is empty. Okay, so copying it. So if okay, चलो लिख लेते हैं. So if front is equal to -1, अगर हमारा front -1 है तो हम क्या लिखेंगे? dequeue empty, right? So dequeue is empty, no elements are there, so it will not print anything. Handle and return. ठीक है? But if this scenario is not true, then see out. I'm writing a simple line, right? dequeue elements. All right. Now for loop. So in this for loop, we will start from front and will go till rear. Int I equal to from front, ना जो भी front की value होगी, and it will go till equal to rear. I will increase. Okay, now write down cout arr I, a little bit space you can give. Done. Okay, this is over. Done. You can write one more thing. यहाँ पे आप एक और cout लगा सकते हो. cout handle. All right. Now how we can print it? अब हम इसे print कैसे कराएंगे? हम इसमें elements कैसे देंगे? The most important thing. तो आप क्या करना है हमको? int main में हम उसका ऑब्जेक्ट बना देंगे पहले dequeue का. This is the object D. So capital D dot first. As you know, right now we don't have an element, so we can't insert from front. So we have to insert from rear first. Okay. So D dot D insert from rear. So I am inserting 40. Okay. D dot display. Run. So 62 line में there is a problem. 62. तो ये वाला कहाँ से आया? हटा दो. 90 में प्रॉब्लम है. माय गॉड, 90 में क्या प्रॉब्लम है? हमने ना कहीं भी पैरेंट जो ब्रैकेट्स है हमारे, वो हमने कुछ गड़बड़ कर दिए हैं. ये इसका है क्लास का, नीचे से लास्ट में बना रखा है ऑलरेडी. वी हैव फंक्शन, दिस इज ओवर हियर, दिस इज एल्स, दिस इज डिस्प्ले फंक्शन मिसिंग है क्या? So we have this for loop here done. वी हैव दिस एल्स पार्ट, वी हैव दिस, हाँ तुम्हारा एक ये मिसिंग, रन दिस कोड। सो फॉर लूप में यहाँ पे स्पेस नहीं आता, इन दोनों के बीच में आपको स्पेस नहीं देना है। डन। ओके, सो नाउ dequeue elements 40 only, so we inserted only 40, है ना, हमने 40 इंसर्ट किया है, ठीक है। नाउ इफ यू वांट टू इंसर्ट d डॉट इंसर्ट फ्रॉम रेयर फर्स्ट, क्योंकि फिर वो माइनस में चला जाएगा ना अगर हम फ्रंट में करेंगे, 400। डन। नाउ यू इंसर्टेड। ओके, सो फ्रंट अभी किसको पॉइंट कर रहा है, इसको पॉइंट कर रहा है, ठीक है। नाउ रेयर इसको पॉइंट कर रहा है। अगर आप क्या करते हो, अगर आप डी डॉट इंसर्ट फ्रॉम फ्रंट करते हो, ठीक है, तो अब देखो वो वैल्यू आएगी ही नहीं, इसमें मैं लिख रही हूँ 50, दिस वैल्यू विल नॉट बी देयर एज, लेट मी राइट इट, सो इट विल से व्हाट, ओवरफ्लो, ओवरफ्लो फ्रॉम फ्रंट, ये तो इंसर्ट हो गई है, ठीक है। इस इफ यू वांट टू राइट अ सिनेरियो फॉर दैट आल्सो, आप पता क्या कर सकते हो, आप यहाँ पे ये लिख सकते हो, सी आउट, है ना, इंसर्टेड ARR फ्रंट, ठीक है, जो भी फ्रंट की वैल्यू इंसर्ट करोगे, यही आप कॉपी पेस्ट एंटर लगा लो, कॉपी, आप इसके बाद भी कर सकते हो, और यहाँ पे आपको रेयर लिखना है, ठीक है। नाउ रन दिस कोड। नाउ सो इंसर्टेड 40, इंसर्टेड 400, बट व्हेन यू वर डूइंग, जब आप क्या कर रहे थे, डी डॉट इंसर्ट फ्रंट कर रहे थे 50 को, तो उसने क्या बता दिया भाई, ओवरफ्लो फ्रॉम फ्रंट, क्योंकि फ्रंट -1 हो जाएगा, ठीक है ना। यहाँ पे कहाँ पे आया, यहाँ से आया, जब आप इंसर्ट कर रहे हो तो पहले ही मैंने बोल दिया अगर फ्रंट 0 है तो ओवरफ्लो हो जाएगा फ्रॉम फ्रंट एंड देन रिटर्न टू द मेन फंक्शन, तब वो दूसरा कंसेप्ट जो भी आप बना रहे हो उसको रन करेगा। ओके, तो आप दूसरा फंक्शन क्या कर रहे थे, कॉल इसको, सो डिस्प्ले विल कम, सो डिस्प्ले आ गया, डिस्प्ले इसने कॉल करा दिया कितने एलिमेंट्स है, ठीक है। नाउ अब तुम कैसे कर पाओगे, मीन्स हम फ्रंट से कैसे इंसर्ट कर, तब तो हम कभी नहीं कर पाएंगे, कर सकते हैं जब आप डिलीट कर दो। चलो पहले डिलीट कर देते हैं हम, फ्रॉम फ्रंट, सो डिलीट फ्रॉम फ्रंट, so when you will do it, so now when you are deleting, so front will increase by 1, एक increase हो जाएगा तो front become 1, then you can insert। okay, so now 40 deleted from dequeue। अब आप अगर डिस्प्ले करवाते हो, डिस्प्ले करवाने की भी जरूरत तो है नहीं वैसे, ठीक है। अब आप क्या बोलो, अब करो आप इसको इंसर्ट, इसको 50 को अब आप इंसर्ट करोगे तो अब 50 इंसर्ट हो जाएगा। अब अगर आपको डिस्प्ले करवाने का है, सो यस you can do it, go for it। so now you will say 40 deleted, 40 deleted from dequeue, now left only 400, but now you are inserting 50 from front, फ्रंट से इंसर्ट कर रहे हो तो फ्रंट में जाएगा 50, 40 400 के बाद नहीं जाएगा, 50 फ्रंट में जाएगा, ओके, बिफोर 400। ऑल राइट, नाउ delete, so we have done insertion, we have done insertion from rear, insertion from front, deletion from front, now just do deletion from rear, rear से भी कर लो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। now d dot display, so there will be only one element, that is 50 left, so you deleted 40, you inserted 50, you now elements as 50 and 400, now 400 are also deleted from which one, कैसे delete हुआ, इस line से delete हुआ, okay, and then you are displaying it, so 50 will remain there, okay, so as you can do as much as insertion, as much as deletion, All right, so key points you should know that whenever you are using array plus front and rear, you have to include in this, and it will support insertion and deletion from both the ends, handles overflow and underflow conditions. This is a linear array implementation. All right, we cannot reuse space, may cause false overflow. All right, so here we implemented dequeue using array where front and rear points and control insertion and deletion from both the ends. All right, so you should remember the conditions only. Okay, so when we are doing insertion at rear, to insert at rear, if rear reaches the last index, that means overflow condition. All right, so if dequeue is empty, agar dequeue empty hai na, you can say here this one we are talking about. So if we are saying if dequeue is empty, so we have to set front and rear both 0, otherwise we have to increase rear and insert the element. Okay, when we were doing insertion at front, जब हम front से insert कर रहे हैं, so this was है ना, this is the scenario. Okay, when we are doing insertion at front, so front is equal to 0 if, then we have to say overflow condition. If dequeue is empty, अगर dequeue empty है तो front और rear both will say now set to 0. Okay, otherwise decrease front and insert the element. All right, now this is done. Now when you want to delete from front, अगर आपको delete करना है front से, अगर आपको delete करना है front से, so we don't need to give any kind of value, it will delete where the front is pointing. Okay, so if dequeue is empty, so underflow condition, if only one element, reset front and rear to -1, otherwise increase front. Okay, now if you want to do delete from rear, अगर rear से आपको delete करने का है, so again we don't need to give any kind of value, we have to delete the rear which is pointing to the index value. Okay, so if dequeue is empty, so that means underflow condition, if there is only one element, so we have to reset both front and rear. Okay, हमें reset करना पड़ेगा -1 को, -1 ही तो कर रहे हैं ना हम यहाँ पे, right? And otherwise we have to keep decreasing rear. Okay, so now I hope you got the concept, right? So only one important limitation of array, that is it cannot reuse empty space. So it leads to false overflow. Okay, all operations, all operations are having big O one time complexity, that is constant time complexity. Okay, so now you understand how dequeue works using array implementation. So in the next video, we will learn how we can implement using linked list. All right, and it will solve also memory space as well. So here we have fixed elements, but in a linked list we have a dynamic memory allocation. All right, so if you found this video helpful, do subscribe to my channel and like, share and comment. All right, so thank you so much, we'll meet in the next video. Okay, till then, learning is only the path to achieve the success. Thank you so much.